Happy Valentine's Day, everyone! I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and as my Valentine to all of you, here is a bonus yarn dyeing video. Today we are going to dye a Knit Picks Stroll double-stranded blank in a wonderful Valentine hearts and happy themed pattern. Now, I have some good news and some bad news about this project. The bad news is that all of us were waiting for the sweethearts to come on the shelves for Valentine's Day, but unfortunately those aren't going to be manufactured this year in 2019. Apparently there's some corporate thing. I think the brand was purchased by another company and they don't have the capacity to produce them for this season. So there's a year without those conversation hearts that everyone hates to eat but are iconic as a commercial symbol of Valentine's Day. We love these hearts here at ChemKnits because they are filled with food coloring and give some really great pops of color and dissolve completely. So I'm really excited to play with them again. And that brings us to the good news. I stocked up last year. So I have a few bags of these conversation hearts that we can use today. Year-old hearts are perfect for yarn dyeing. And really, even if they were fresh, no one was going to eat them anyway. Sincere apologies to anyone who does enjoy eating them. They were never my favorite as a kid growing up, even though I love the design and pattern, etc. from them. So we're going to dye our sock blank with these candy hearts. And I'm hoping that maybe we can get some kind of effect from them like we got from the candy canes in our Christmas special. In addition to these hearts, I have some Wilton Color Mist spray in pink. So my hope is that we can use these little hearts as a bit of a resist, spray on top of them, and then maybe end up with a blue heart surrounded by a light pink spray. I am not sure if this will work well, but we will see. The other thing you should notice is that I have laid all these hearts message side up. Now, you can read some of them a lot better than others, but I'm going to put the message side face down. These messages are made out of food coloring too, so they might leave an impression on the yarn. Not that you would be able to read any of the font, but I thought that that would be a little fun to play around with. The pink Color Mist spray has red number 3 in it. I am not sure how pale or dark this color will be. It'll probably read very similarly to some of these pink hearts. But, ooh, should I leave the pink off? No, I'm going to try to use all of these hearts from one package on the blank, spread them out in a way I'm happy, or make some design that makes me happy, and then we'll proceed from there and decide if we want to add on another package or what. I am pre-soaking the blank in some tap water with a little over 3 tablespoons of white vinegar for at least 20 minutes. Alright, the sock blank is pre-soaked. I could have squeezed more water out of it, but I did want to leave some of the wetness in here to sort of help these candies dissolve a little bit. I took care to try to block the edges out so that way they would be sort of opened up a reasonable amount. But now let's start adding on some candy. I'm not wearing gloves, so my fingers are probably going to turn little colors, but I am going to start placing these hearts and sort of pressing down when I add them. Sort of making this up as I go along. But again, I am not going to worry too much about covering the whole blank. But just out of curiosity. Alright, I'm seeing a tiny bit of transfer actually from the words so far. Don't know about the rest of it, but we will see. I'm realizing I'm not talking very much as I'm doing this because I'm just thinking about how I want these to layer on, and I'm just sort of going for a representation of what came in my package. But there is a reason why I decided to start with the purple first. I started with the purple first, and I'm going to do the pink last because the very end will have a lot of pink from the spray. And so if there isn't a lot of contrast from the pink and pink, you know, maybe this could be like, this part could be like a cuff of a sock or something. At least like in my head, that sort of works. I feel like my angles have been getting less angled as time has gone on. But that's okay. Oh dear. We're not really in lines anymore. Let's peek. I'm starting to see some purple, and okay, can you see? Oh, you can kind of see the dot in the center. Woohoo! It's possible that this isn't going to work very well at all because the like the brighter pinks might work, but it's not going to work as well as I was hoping because the maybe we get those bright colors when all of the candy dissolves, so we might end up with some more super pastel type shapes. But again, you don't know unless you try. Nice little smiley face. And I'm now going to kind of go and just push down these again. I'm going to wait, I think, to spray it until after I've let these hearts sort of sit for a while. But, oh, this is fun. Oops. Now, the last time I tried to spray onto a resist, I was just using the yarn, and the yarn sprayed away. These candies have a bit more weight, so hopefully they stay in place. Oh goodness, I didn't even think about, like, what if the hearts don't stay? Oh, well, we'll get there when we get there. All right, so clearly these hearts are going a bit further than maybe I had anticipated. There will be some more like pink on one side, but I think that this would be, like, these aren't going to be like short stripes along a cuff. Ooh, this one is a little odd shaped. These aren't going to be short stripes, they will be longer. But you know what? That is okay. And boom. All right, there we have our hearts. I'm going to give them all a nice, I'll go back and get the ones that I skipped, but a nice little press. And then I'm going to zoom in and we'll pick up a couple and see what's happening. All right, let's take a look at this one right here. Oh, that is working. And look, oh, you can still see some of that conversation heart aspect. Let's take a peek at another one. Let's try this yellow. Oh, you guys, that's working. The yellow's a bit more subtle, but they haven't been on that long yet. Oh my gosh, this is working so well. I kind of can read the letters a little bit. I mean, obviously it's backwards. Look at that smiley face. Oh, all right. Probably picking it up messes it up a bit, but anyway, I am gonna go ahead and let this sit for 10 minutes and then we'll come back. A lot more time has passed than I initially intended. So I have left my hearts on here for at least 45 minutes, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour or so. But now we're ready to start spraying with the color mist. I do want to, oh, that is some good color. Oh, that is great. And actually the words on the candy have almost completely come off now. Okay, I'm not sure if this length of time is technically necessary, but certainly it didn't hurt. So I'm now gonna shake up our color mist and cross our fingers. Yeah! Oh, that's some good color. Going really, really light. Woohoo! This is working. I can go heavier and lighter. We know that these color mist sprays give us a really light application of color. And so what I'm expecting from these sprays is that we'll see the bright pink on one side, it'll be more of the bare color on the other, so we'll get some really great pink speckles. But what I'm also expecting is that when I lift up these hearts, I will see some resist from, some physical resist from them being on the mat, from them being on the blank. So hopefully that'll give us some pops of those bright colors there. And now I'm filling in sort of other side. I have no idea what this will do sort of over these more pink hearts. Sort of filling this in a bit more. Hopefully I'm not going too heavy on this. But you know what? I'm really excited about it, so I don't care if I'm going a little too heavy. So I am going to zoom in and we're going to start removing some of these hearts. All right, let's start removing these. I just have a white plate where I'm going to pop them. Oh my. Oh, that is cool. Check. Oh, look at that smiley face. That one is so good. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so, so cool. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the rest of these hearts. And I'm gonna speed it up a bit. Now the moment of truth. Will we see anything from these pink hearts? And not a lot. We see like a subtle halo from them, but surprisingly, the pink ones have given us the smallest effect out of all of the colors. This is epically unbelievable and beautiful. And now we need to set this color. Instead of wrapping it up with the plastic wrap I have on the surface, I am going to go ahead and cover this, whoops, with a fresh piece of plastic wrap. The goal is to try to avoid spreading out food coloring everywhere, but yeah, we're good. Now that we have that layer, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the rest of this. Okay, and create a nice jelly roll. As we roll it, you can see that the color on the reverse side is a lot lighter than the color on the front. I have placed our jelly roll onto a microwave safe plate, and I'm now going to go microwave it on high in 2-minute increments for a total of 6 minutes. As for the rest of the candy hearts, we're not going to leave any dye behind. Whoa, that puffed up like I've never ever seen. It's certainly, and it rolled the yarn off of the plate at one point and I put it back. Hopefully this is going to make a huge difference, but woo, the deflating little bubble is definitely hot to touch, and I'm now going to let it cool completely before we unwrap it. I did notice that while we saw really bright colors when I removed the hearts, there was like a layer of candy sort of on top of the blank still. I don't think all that color had necessarily soaked in, but we'll see. Before we start washing this, let's take a look. Oh, wow. That is so cool. Oh, I hope all this color stays. It didn't really bleed much. Oh. Okay, in the pre-wash, this is great. I can definitely see the fact that the smiley faces turned out the best by far. Yeah, like this is a really good one right here. Yeah, you can see this really, really good one right there. The smiley faces turned out great. You can't really see. Yeah, if you spread it, you can almost see definitions from the letters, like in this one. It does look like that it's letters. I can see like tiny little lines in it. Not that it's readable because it's backwards, but you guys, this is awesome. And it really does feel like it's a tiny bit tacky. I feel some slime, so let's go wash this. It is so nice when a project turns out even better than I expected. I even see, how to say if I'm seeing hints of breaking around some of those purples, or if it only feels like breaking because there's pink in the center from the names. I feel like I observed the names maybe leaving some color deposits last time, but oh, this is pretty magical. Pretty magical, and I think the perfect Valentine's Day blank. Oh my gosh, I just love it. Alright, now, there's a lot of stuff in here besides just the food coloring. We've got all that sugar and everything else that makes the candy candy. So I'm adding in some clear dish soap. And I'm going to want to give this a lot of rinses because I want to make sure all that sugar and everything comes out. But the water looks like a tiny bit cloudy. I mean, obviously there's soap right now. So I think the like sugar and stuff are coming out. But I'm not seeing bleeding from the color. These colors are in our yarn. So now I'm just going to rinse this probably 4 or 5 more times and then hang it up to dry. You guys, this sock blank is absolutely spectacular. This worked way better than I could have ever hoped. I am unbelievably thrilled with the impressions that we got from the hearts, how well they worked for the resist when we did the color mist spray on top of it. Ooh. Just look at these impressions. These are so identifiable as these sweetheart candy hearts because I mean I used them, and I think the fact that they used the red dye to make the words and the shapes really helps get that good impression since we know that the red strikes so fast. I think that maybe if they had used blue or something, the colors would have spread more. And honestly, this could be why they're using red on the candies to begin with, because maybe something about it allows them to get that sharper line. But these lines, it looks like it's just sort of printed on top of the candy, but it definitely sort of inserted within a few layers of the candy because, you know, letting it sit there, I thought maybe it would get buried or smudged out, but oh, you can just see it. Now, I wash this a lot, and texture-wise, there might be a tiny bit of residue left. I know that it comes out with a lot of washing, and so if I were to unravel this myself and soak it, I would be able to massage it in water. They're definitely not split, and I can see, or sorry, they're definitely not like stiff and coated, and I can definitely like move the strands apart. There's just sort of like a moment where maybe on some of the hearts I feel like I might feel something. So that's just something to keep in mind. I knew that the Color Mist spray was going to give us a shallow penetration, which you can really see as we look at the back side. We see the bright pink on the front, and we've got white on the back. So when we unravel this, we know we're going to see a lot of like these speckles, these patches of bright color with the original bare white in between, and it just gives a really amazing effect that I've shown in many other videos with these Color Mist sprays. What surprised me is that these candy hearts really also had shallow color penetration. And I don't know if I had had more water, or maybe it's because the candy sort of just stayed in place and it wasn't as much dissolving as it was sticking to the surface for me to wash off. But these have some really, really great potential as a dyeing tool, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. Whenever I do a sock blank, it always finally comes down to the moment where I have to decide whether or not I'm going to unravel it or leave it in blank form. And this blank is such a work of art that I am going to leave it in the blank form. I think that I can picture, and I'll show a picture of some of the rainbow ones that I've done unraveled, sort of overlaid, but I can picture what the overall effect of this is going to look like. We know we're going to have pink and white speckles with some purple thrown in, then some more blue, then green, then yellow, then orange and pink, and then back to these multiple tones of pink at the other end. So this isn't something that is really going to surprise me if I unravel it, even though I know how much I would love that result. By the time this episode comes out, I will have already listed this blank in the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop. But there's a chance it's still there. Either way, the ChemKnits Creations shop is filled with dozens and dozens of skeins of hand-dyed yarn that have been featured in past and upcoming YouTube videos. There are even some silk scarves and tie-dyed t-shirts and ChemKnits Creations tote bags that you can all find in that Etsy store. If you would like advance notice of when I'm going to do a shop restock, you should check out the ChemKnits Patreon. In addition to the advance notice, I offer a lot of other really, really cool perks, such as early access to a new yarn dyeing video every month, behind the scenes sneak peeks where you can watch me live, unedited, as I am filming a new episode of Dye Pot Weekly, and see the things that I try that work and that don't work, and when I have to do a retake versus not, and I think that it's a lot of fun. You can find a link in the video description and the iCard. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and from the bottom of my heart, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. This community gives me so much joy and strength, and I hope that you can feel the love through the screen that I am sending to all of you. Don't forget to subscribe, tap that bell icon for notifications, and leave a comment to tell me what you think. I know that I am unbelievably excited, and I cannot wait for these sweetheart candies to become available again in 2020. Fingers crossed, at least. Thank you so much for watching.